So we've got 4 awards to give away this morning. The first one goes to a company based in Chicago, a Fortune 500 company, R.R. Donnelley this morning. R.R. Donnelley is obviously a very large corporation, Fortune 500. They took on 6 Naperville 203 students last summer to put together an internship. Those 6 students worked on a variety of things, including IT infrastructure, business risk analysis. They did some marketing programming. They did some corporate learning and development, a whole array of things inside R.R. Donnelley. And then that 6-week internship culminated with a group of presentations to C-level execs at Donnelley, as well as our superintendent, Dan Bridges. So to share more on that internship is Executive Vice President and Chief HR Officer for R.R. Donnelley, Tom Carroll.
You guys, if I speak on the microphone, I can't talk because I talk with my hands a lot. I wanted to just walk through kind of my first reaction when I was looking at this internship program. My person who runs community relations for the corporation, Pamela Martinez, brought this to me. And what I actually thought was she was crazy. And here's why. We're a Fortune 500 company. We want people to come and work. We want people to get things done. And so we're going to bring in 6 high schoolers into our work environment and expect that magic is going to happen somehow. And we bring in college interns all the time, and frankly, that magic hardly happens there. So I was sitting and going, I'm not sure this is such a great thing. About our company, you don't really know us. Most times you'll actually touch our products every single day. If you read Harry Potter, you touch our products. If you look at most catalogs, you touch our products. If you grab your cell phone bill from AT&T and Verizon, that's us sending you the bill. Electronically or ink on paper. You call it junk mail, we call it money. So these are all the things that we as an organization actually convert. But we're a big company. We trade on the NASDAQ, 11.5 billion. We're a Fortune 500 company. We've been around for 150 years, 1864 in the city of Chicago. We're about 68,000 people worldwide, about 38,000 domestic U.S. There's over 500 locations of this company around the world, and we're headquartered in Chicago. Today, I'm working on the breakup of the company. So I run the human resource function, but I also run political affairs for the company. I run postal affairs because we're the largest user of the U.S. postal system. I also have an enterprise technology incubator in New York City that I run. So this company is very diverse. Today we're breaking the company up into a $1 billion company, a $3.5 billion, and a $7 billion company. I'm running that project. I'm based out here in Warrenville. I live in Naperville. Now, our internship program. This is how this started. In January was submission of resumes. We wanted to see the students show up like any other employee has to show up. We want to see your resume. And one of the things we expected to see is a resume that made our people, our managers and directors and VPs who interviewed actually want to interview the person. So, I don't know if you looked at your resume lately, but does someone want to talk to you when they're done reading it? A lot of times that answer is no. We then conducted interviews. The interview situation is a stressful situation for anybody, but learning how to interview. I will tell you, some of these students interviewed so well that our managers called me afterwards and said, oh my God, I cannot believe how well this person just closed the deal to try to get the job. And so I will tell you again, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wouldn't have expected that out of a high school student. Then we launched the internship, June 8th through the 17th. Nima, who worked for us in HR, Colleen, Philip, Jessica, Sean, and Rohan, stand up. Stand up if you're in the room. These guys did such a great job that when they presented, I was sitting there amazed at what actually went down. because I could not believe at the end of this, not only their presence in getting up and speaking, but the actual real work that they did while they were there. It was amazing. So let's talk about how we set this up. Every Monday through Thursday we had them. Every Monday we did learning with them. Goal setting. What actually were the goals of the company? How did that get down into the actual goals that they needed to be working on in IT, in HR? Nima in particular was converting literally 25, where's Nima? Units. Was it 25? Yes? 30 units that we needed to convert on training units that we did with our manufacturing staff into a new platform. We believe in the time that she was there, she would get maybe 10 of these done. Literally, she got them almost all done, and then I hired her for the rest of the summer to do the rest of the conversion. So, goal setting. Then team building. What does it mean to be in the work environment and work as a group of people around a team of people? How do you communicate? How do you understand differences? How do you manage conflict? This was every Monday, and then it was back into the job. Plantur's financial statement. Do you know how to read a financial statement? Because in essence, in a company, a financial statement can be an intimidating, difficult thing to read. But it boils down to 2 or 3 simple things. Money comes in, money goes out, and what's left over is your profit. Financial statement. Project management. We've all got it. We've all got projects that we have to manage, but the question is, how do you structure a project? How do you actually go through and manage that project in order to get to the completion date? And we taught that, as well as personal branding. Your resume stands for your brand. It shows up absolutely on who you are before you ever show up, and your personal brand shows up before you ever walk in a room. Who are you? What do people believe about you? There's your internal brand, what do you believe about yourself. There's the external brand, what do people believe about you. And there's your digital brand. And one of the things for this generation, the digital brand is an unconscious, I just post stuff out there. I just post all sorts of things out there. And then my new employer gets to see that and question, am I the kind of employee I want brought into the company? And then the student presentations that were awesome. Amazing presentations from these students. Everybody from Donnelley that's hosted a student, stand up. I know some of you are in the room. Yeah, these are the people, there's Bob Neal, you're here somewhere. Yeah, you guys, these are our staff that hosted these students that literally brought them into their departments and gave them real work to do. We're going to hear from 2 of those students, Sean and Rohan, and I am going to stop. Sean, you're up. Rohan, where are you?
Hi. Good morning. Okay. Hi everyone. My name is Rohan Parapali. I'm a senior at Naperville North High School. Just some background on me. I'm the Vice President of Business Professionals in America at Naperville North. I'm also the Vice President of National Honor Society, and I'm currently deciding between the University of Southern California and the University of Naperville.
Good morning. My name is Sean McGowan, and I'm a senior at Naperville Central. A little bit about myself. I'm the president of the NCHS German Club, and I'm a member of both the National Honor Society and German Honor Society. This fall, I plan on attending either the University of Illinois College of Business or Indiana University's Kelley School of Business. We'd like to begin with sharing some of our experiences that we had at our time. And a lot of our work revolved around the digitalization of acquisition files. Really what this meant was us sitting down and deciding what these files meant. It was us learning the value of different financial documents and information and figuring out what it meant. Taking the sense of numbers and the sense of the words and understanding why it was important to the company.
Another thing we were tasked with was analyzing credit report files, and I think what was most important about this was at the beginning of our internship, Mr. Carroll challenged us as interns to step up and challenge the way things get done in terms of the ideology and methodology, not only in the Client Financial Services Department, but at our Donnelley as a whole. So Sean and I were dealt with the task of digitalization of acquisition files and as well as the credit report analysis. And we decided that instead of dealing with the tedious numbers every single day, we decided to create a macro on Excel. And we used that macro, a little piece of software, to help boost our productivity and really finish the work we had in a lot shorter of a span. And slow joke, I think one of the most important things we did was learn how to file and scan. There's a little picture of me next to the trustee scanner we had for those 6 weeks.
And next, we'd like to talk about some of the lessons that we learned, and one of the most important was understanding how to act in a corporate environment. As high school seniors, we necessarily hadn't been exposed to this type of environment. It was something that we all thought was really important. It gave us that sense of, well, this is what it's like to work at the office. And that's something a lot of seniors can't say they've experienced. Also, we really took away that idea of thinking outside the box. Like Bernadette mentioned, we were challenged to think about different ways to go about solving a problem. Always question, why do we do this, and what can we do better? And with that came a sense of accountability and responsibility for all of our work. Like Rohan had mentioned, we had written these credit reports, and this was us deciding and justifying, well, what should we put on there? And it was really a culmination of everything we had learned. And when we handed it to the credit analyst, they had to sign off on the work we produced, and fortunately for us, they loved what we did.
Another thing we learned was how to present ourselves as business professionals. As Mr. Carroll mentioned, a lot of coming up as high school seniors is maturity, and we learned how to dress, how to act, and how to present ourselves as obviously business professionals, and to be confident in what we did and the work that we produced. And I think the internship did a great job of really developing us as individuals and us as students. Being exposed to a Fortune 500 company is not an experience that every high school student has, and being able to intern for a whole 6 weeks really developed who we are as people and really showed us what real world business is, and confirming that whether or not this is something that we actually wanted to do. So one of the reasons we recommend this, we have so many, is because this is such a truly unique experience. As Mr. Carroll broke down, every Monday we had the opportunity to sit with the heads of our departments and learn. This wasn't an internship based on working or making coffee or whatever. We sat down every Monday, we learned. We stepped up, we were taught different things, and then the rest of the week we were challenged to work in such a diverse environment and try new things and everything. And then every Friday we had the opportunity to sit back down with district officials and reflect on how this experience was, and it was truly a great opportunity. We were really given the opportunity to connect and network, and for me, one of the greatest things about this internship was meeting with my project manager, Corona, who really helped me through the 6 weeks and ended up writing one of my college recommendation letters. She was one of the integral figures in this internship for me.
And really, one of the things that we took away was not just the work, but the lessons that we learned. And two of the ones that we really took away was the idea of personal branding and teamwork. Because those are things we can take away from this internship that we can apply to every day. It really focused on how do you portray yourself? How do you want others to see you? But really, how do others see you online? Because that's something that our generation, that's one of the newer problems we have to consciously think about. And I know every time I go to post something, I think about that day in the conference room, well, what does it mean? What kind of message am I sending? And then that also brought about a wide variety of opportunities. Me and Rohan weren't stuck in a conference room with one thing to do for 6 weeks. We were exposed to a variety of different opportunities, working with different teams, completing different tasks. And it was truly remarkable. And then, ending on a high note, I had a friend ask me the day after the internship ended, so Sean, what'd you do last 6 weeks? Make coffee? Sit in a cubicle? And we laughed about it, but I told him in all seriousness, we did work. Every day I went in with the sense that I was going to get stuff done. And at the end of every day, I left the office with a real sense of accomplishment. That hard day at the work, a hard day of work at the office. And I can say that's not something a lot of high school seniors experience. That's the kind of experience you get once you're done at college, and you're starting at the office on the first day. So, on behalf of myself and the interns, we just want to thank R.R. Donnelley for the opportunity.
Thank you guys so much.
For you guys to end this, what I didn't tell tell everybody at the very beginning was they were interviewing high schoolers. And at the end of this, these two who just had speak, their boss came up to me in HR and wanted to know if we could hire them. And I said, they're high schoolers, they've got to go back to high school. And they were like, what? Yeah, they were high schoolers and they did an amazing job. Thank you.